Hello everyone, myself Sabri and I welcome you to our channel Solution Bridge Network and one-stop solution for all your Power Platform tutorials. In today's video, we are going to understand how we are leveraging the Microsoft Power Automate capabilities to get a response submitted in a Microsoft form template and submitting it to a SharePoint list. Additionally, based on the rating given in the Microsoft Forms template, we're going to trigger an email to the creator of the form if that rating is low. So first let me take you to the training feedback form what I have created. So I do have 4 questions in the form which ask the user to fill in the concerned batch and what would be the rating for the training, whether they would like to recommend this training for a colleague, and we have a privilege to enter the additional comments if any as well. Similarly, what I did, I've just created a SharePoint list which stores all these 4 column responses so that now it's time for us to create a Power Automate flow which will help in transferring the data from the Microsoft Forms to the SharePoint site whenever a new response is submitted. So let's go to the Power Automate window and start creating our flow. Let me go to the My Flow section, and now we need to select the type of flow. Here, our flow should get initiated whenever a new response is submitted to the forms, and hence this falls under the category of automatic flow. So we will go with automated cloud flow. Now we name the flow as MS forms to SharePoint underscore TR, which is training request. So now we need to select the trigger. You can see the first trigger when a new response is submitted to a Microsoft form. So that's actually what we need. So we can select that and click on create. It opens up a new designer template. I would like to switch back to the old designer template and proceed with the flow creation. So the trigger what we have created requires form ID as input. So if you click the drop down, you will be able to find all the forms what you have created in the same tenant. So I have only one training feedback form. So let me select that. As a next step, what we need to do is we need to get the complete response submitted in this request. So I would like to use an action again in the forms area. So let me type forms and select the Microsoft Forms action. In the action, you have only one, which we call it as get response details. This is what actually we want. So select that, and this requires 2 inputs. One is the form ID. So similarly, you can click the drop down and have the form name selected. And this form response will be a dynamic content, and this will be from the previous trigger, which is when a new response is submitted. So let me select the response ID. Let's save this. So let's go ahead and test this flow to make sure whenever a new response is submitted, we are able to get the response details. Let me go to the test and do a manual test so that now I can submit a form. Now it says it works when we submit a new response in the form. So let us go to the feedback form and start filling our response. So I have filled some sample informations and I would like to click submit. Now I can see that the response is submitted. So let's get back to the Power Automate flow to make sure the flow ran. Yes, it ran successfully. Let's expand the get response details and see whether the information what we have submitted are available. Yes, you can see we have selected Jan 2023. We mentioned good in the additional comments, and rest of the informations are available. So let's go ahead and edit the flow and add the additional things to add this specific record as an item in the SharePoint list first. So I will use the connector SharePoint, and we need to call an action create item. So which will help us to create an item in a SharePoint list. So I'll type create and select create item. Let me select the site where the list is stored. So my list is stored in a site called data site. My list name is training feedback form. Let's select that, and once you select that, you will be able to see the advanced option opens up and you will be able to get the list of columns configured. So you can key in the dynamic contents with respect to each of the columns. First, let me select the submitter. And if you scroll down in the dynamic content, you will be finding a section called Get Response Details, which you would be using it. So in the title, what you can do, you can say the submission time, and the submitter would be responder's email. Batch, you can select the concerned course batch. Out of overall rating, here you have a section called how would you rate the training. You can select that. Recommended to friends, select the recommended and select the comments column. So now what our flow does is whenever a new response is submitted, it gets the response details and then passes it into an item available in the SharePoint. So as a final step, what we are going to do here is we're gonna check a condition to make sure if the overall feedback is always greater than or equal to 5. If it is less than 5, then we need to send a notification to the form creator stating that there is a low feedback submitted. So first, I would like to use the condition of overall rating. So you can either use overall rating from the create items, or if you scroll down, you will be able to find the overall items from the get response details as well. But both these columns are of type text. So what we will do, we will go to the expression and I'll convert the text to an integer. So I'll call the int function an open bracket. And again, I'll come to the dynamic content. I'll scroll down and select the overall rating from the get form responses. So I'll click OK. So whenever the overall rating is less than or equal to 5, we're gonna send an email to the creator of this form stating that low feedback received. So let me click an add action and we will use the Outlook connector to send an email. Let me select the Outlook and send an email. Here I would like to send an email to me stating that the feedback is less. So you can pass this to the concern owner. We can give a subject line as low feedback on training. Here you can say copy paste in the body low feedback of training submitted by. You can pass in the dynamic content of the submitter, so which is the email address, so that the concerned owner can reach out to this submitter to understand what is the reason for the negative feedback. So let me save this. So we would like to test it now. So what I'll do, I'll go with automatic and I'll use the previous trigger as the test. So I'll click this and I'll click test. So now we need to wait till this flow completes. So here what it says, it got the form response, it's created an item, it checks the condition and the condition is false. The reason being the overall rating what we have given here is 10. So let's go to the SharePoint site, reload the site and make sure that the response is saved correctly. Yes. So now it's time for us to submit one more response. So let me reload the page and we will submit a response for June batch. I'm saying that overall rating is 3 and this is 1 and this is bad content, and let me submit the request. Our response is submitted successfully. So let's go back to the Power Automate flow, get one step back and refresh the run history to make sure the current form responses. Let's refresh. We could see there is a flow which got triggered 16 seconds ago. Let's go to the data site, reload it. So we could see the second response is also available in our SharePoint. So I'll take you to my email to make sure that the email notification is also sent. Yes, we have a low feedback in training and the low feedback in training was submitted by this user. In this email, if you want to additionally customize and mention the batch and the ratings given by them, you can try that. By this, we come to end of this video. If you have any questions or clarifications, please post it in the comment section and we will be able to help. Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel, hit the like button and press the bell icon for our new video alerts.